we will now move to careers with languages. So we are often asked this question that I have learned this language and I need to use it somewhere. How best can I use it? And there are many options available even for people who are not educated in a language academically, but who have done part-time courses and who know the language. So we will look at each one quickly. Multilingual DTP, that's desktop publishing. So DTP experts use computer software to design layouts for newspapers, books, brochures, and other items that are printed or published online. So when a document is bilingual or multilingual, if the DTP programmer has knowledge of other languages, he or she might be able to help better instead of just cutting off words or deleting sentences by mistake because language knowledge is not available. So DTP experts are required wherever publishing is to be done, whether it is online or whether it is actually published in print. Next is multilingual SEO, that's search engine optimization. So the process of promoting a website to the top rankings of search engine is called search engine optimization or SEO, and when it is happening on multilingual sites, it is multilingual SEO. This is part of digital marketing and it requires much beyond knowing the language only. You will need to know the target culture, the internet behavior of the regional population, and differences in dialects of different regions speaking the same language. Of course, there are other related profiles like content management, social media management, pay-per-click ads like Google Ads, e-commerce, etc. So multilingual SEO consultants should know a few languages and also have expertise in programming, SEO, social media marketing, and sales. All this will help companies reach out to more people in various languages and in various countries. The next option is BPO support. BPO is business process outsourcing. So subcontracting of business process or operation, mostly back office processes like customer care, call center, banking processes, is very common in countries like India. And requirements of language experts has grown a lot, not just for foreign languages but Indian languages like Bengali, Tamil, Malayalam, etc. Linguistic support is required for various jobs like data entry, voice calls, non-voice processes, management, banking, billing, chat process, etc. We now move on to the next option, which is the travel industry. So knowing a foreign language along with 2 Indian languages is a must for cabin crew, air steward and air hostess, and for ground crew who take care of ticketing, for example, as well as customer care. Apart from this, there are linguistic licensed guides by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, which grant licenses to guides on a regional basis after fulfilling the conditions. So those who are fluent in French, German, Spanish, Korean, Russian, Japanese, Thai, Arabic, Hungarian, Polish, Hebrew and Chinese are approved by the ministry from time to time under this category. So an aspirant should be a graduate from any recognized university and also know the language, the foreign language fluently, apart from English. These licenses are provided on a state and national level. There are also opportunities available in travel agencies for booking or tour operators. There are also various boutique agencies that cater to specific countries and niche areas like Indian culture, culinary or adventure trips that require agents knowing those specific languages. Apart from this, logistics officers, holiday consultants, staff in cruises, hotels also require staff with some foreign language knowledge. We now move on to diplomatic services abroad and government jobs. So an IFS, that is Indian Foreign Service Officer, after having cleared his exams, has to learn a foreign language and then he is posted to the country in which the language is spoken. He or she then has to develop proficiency in the language and pass an exam to continue his services. Various government bodies also require people with language skills to work as intelligence officers, in think tanks, in decision committees, etc., apart from actual translators and interpreters. Just as an example, the Maharashtra government had posted an ad for Marathi translators who have to work in the Maharashtra government, and it had a very lucrative salary proposition too. Next is hospitality or hotel management. So it is very well known that French gastronomy, or the art and science of good eating, goes back centuries, and hotel management courses always have French language introductory course, so as to enable the students to pronounce the various names of dishes, and when learning how to make wines or spirits and cigars. Of course, hotels also require staff with a good command on various domestic and foreign languages. Next, we move on to IT or information technology. This has been a major game changer for the Indian economy for the last 2 decades. But considering the changing visa norms in the US and other market conditions, the companies have to expand their business to non-English speaking countries. Hence, there's a large requirement for foreign language speaking IT staff, and there is also a perk of about 20% that's offered to such candidates, as per an article published in Hindustan Times. Even coordinators or manager level staff has to have language skills to coordinate projects offshore. So the current top 3 languages in demand for IT are Mandarin, that is Chinese, Japanese and German, according to this same article. But of course, other languages have scope too, depending on the company one is working for. We now move on to management. All global multinational companies and IT companies have managerial staff, and it is always an added asset to know a foreign language native to the parent company. In fact, in most management colleges today, there are credits offered for foreign language learning. Journalism is another such domain in which language skills are very important. So in addition to the local language, another Indian or foreign language is important, since journalists regularly translate articles from other languages for their publications. Foreign correspondents can make use of their foreign language skills while reporting, and therefore it becomes a crucial skill for them. Just like in management, sales and marketing job profiles in international sales and marketing or for export-import houses require talented professionals with good negotiation skills. Reaching out to new geographies and new customers is especially challenging for companies, and here is where the knowledge of target language or the country's language is especially important, as it helps to reach out directly to the concerned authorities in their own language, which builds an instant bridge. Jobs in embassies or country representations like consulates or international chambers of commerce are very lucrative, since they are always in need of some support officers or administrative specialists, managers and secretaries with exceptional language skills to interface with various stakeholders. So now we have reached to the end of the career options that are available for language enthusiasts. However, this is not the end, because there are a lot of other options available for those who are really keen on it. I would like to give a few examples which are out of the box. So here is an example of an IT engineer who has a PhD in linguistics. So he has a 16-year career in the software industry, but also considerable experience in academics as a visiting lecturer of linguistics. In addition to Marathi, Hindi and English, he also speaks fluent French, intermediate level German, and is familiar with Japanese and Sanskrit. He also works as a consultant to companies in the artificial intelligence space, and his current research interests include negation in language, information extraction, and natural language understanding and processing. Then we have another example of a person who graduated in commerce, completed his master's in Indology in India, then a master's in environment and heritage and a master's in cultural landscape in France, and to top it all, a materials and construction techniques master's for recovery of Mediterranean cultural landscape in Italy. So this heritage enthusiast of Indian origin made ample use of his language skills while on projects with the UN and UNESCO, where French is one of the official languages. We also have another example of a French translator who turned into a wine expert. After completing her graduation in French and a master's degree in translation and interpretation, this French translator of Indian origin gathered varied experience in the corporate world. Her interest in wines led her to complete her master's degree in international trade of wines and spirits in France. After gaining considerable experience in various wineries and wine producers, she set up her own company through which she continues to conduct independent training sessions for consumers and other wine-related events, like managing exhibition stalls, creating wine portfolios for restaurants and retail shops, promoting wine tourism, among others, introducing new imported products in the market, for example. So the moral of the story is that if you love languages, you can pave out a way for yourself in your career. You just don't need to follow anybody else's footsteps, but you can also be a little more creative and try and find out your own niche area. Before I end, I would like to touch upon the scope in Indian languages, because there is a dearth of Indian language experts and a huge gap in between delivery and supply of such experts. Well, the story of Indian languages goes in such a way that there are 22 scheduled languages as per the constitution, but there are many more which do not have as many speakers. However, unfortunately, only 1% content online is in Indian languages. But the problem is that 75% Indians don't know English, and if they have to be reached to, Indian languages have to be used. Apart from translations, more of original content is also required online, so more Indian language content writers are required apart from Indian language translators. There is a huge gap in good quality content writers and translators in our own languages. But hopefully this will soon change, because FICCI, which is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce in India, has established ILIA, which is Indian Language Internet Alliance, to help the Indian language ecosystem. They hold annual conferences and webinars and try and promote the usage of Indian languages online and on mobile telephony. Therefore, it is pretty evident that apart from translation or content writing, all the other career options that have been discussed earlier are also open in Indian languages. The flip side is that our own people are not interested in making careers here in our languages, or they are not aware of the opportunities available. We have written many blogs about this topic in our company blog, and you are all welcome to look at them so as to get an idea about the requirements and how you can make use of such opportunities. When we held this event online in the month of December 2020, there were many questions that were asked at the end of the session, which I will cover here right now. But apart from these, if you have any more questions, you can always write to us on the given addresses, and we will surely get back to you with the responses. So the first question was, my daughter is in 8th grade and wants to learn French. Can you guide her? What course can she go for, or which certification should she pursue? So there are a lot of courses available for kids at Alliance Française centers, that is the French Government Association in charge of training in French. Apart from that, schools also teach French, so she can start in the school if she wants to, and then perfect her language later in universities or institutes. The next question was, how do we start translation, or how do we get a job in translation? Well, to start with, you can do our course. We offer 2 levels of translation training. One is an orientation course, which is a 10 or 15 days course that is just an introduction to the career. And then there is an intermediate course, which is a longer one and which is more in-depth course. Once you do the course, we also offer internships for 15 days to deserving candidates so that you get some experience on the job. And then you can apply to other translation companies in India or abroad. You can start with translating free of cost for crowdsourcing translations or for organizations which require help, like Translators Without Borders. And you can also look for a mentor who can help you with improving your skills. The next question was, is there any course related to CAT tools in Pune or in India? So CAT tools are computer-aided translation tools that are used in translation. I am not aware of any specific such course apart from the courses that are offered by the CAT tool companies. But our orientation course and the intermediate course covers some sessions on CAT tools and practical usage sessions too. The next question is there any scope of Japanese? Please guide me, already started N5 level. So to be frank, there is scope for all languages. Japanese is one of the languages which is always in demand, both from companies as well as from students. You can complete N5, then the course levels are N5, N4, N3, N2 and N1. Once you complete N2, you get very fluent in the language and can become either a trainer or a translator or can pursue further studies in Japan. This was an interesting question. Do you see good scope in translation field when machines are getting trained and machine translation is getting popular? So as I mentioned earlier, machine translation is working better than before, especially for European language pairs, but it is yet to gain some ground in Indian languages. So for Indian languages, the scope for translators is much higher than for European languages. But there's something else that is coming up, which is PEMT that I spoke about earlier, post-editing of machine translation. This is a new profile for linguists, but this presupposes that the person knows translation and can do better translation than the machine. And the last question is, how do freshers get into the field of translation? So you either do some course or you get academic qualifications in translation. There are some translation courses available at master's level in India. You complete those courses and then apply at companies, or else you can also start practicing yourself online after doing short-term courses like ours, as I mentioned. So with this, we are almost at the end of the presentation. As I mentioned, you can always write to us with your questions, specific queries. You can call us on the number provided. You can also reach out to us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And if you would like to have any other such presentations given here, then you can surely suggest those. Please visit our blogs. There is a lot of information available related to the fields of translation, interpretation, training on our blogs, and it can definitely guide you a little more than just this presentation. I would also like to mention that every year in the months of October and November, our company hosts an online essay writing competition, and the winners of these competitions stand a chance to do our translation course free of charge. So you can also like our pages on social media and follow the different events and competitions that we organize. Thank you all for your time. See you next time. Bye-bye.